edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Mike L, Kevin Jank.
I'm here, Mike Dell, and thanks to this comic, I now have a thing I can dress up as comic next time I go to Comic Con, because also a creepy looking bald guy who has very pale skin and never sees the sun.
This will be perfect for you then.
Yeah, all I need some glasses.
The glasses are important. You need the
distinctive glasses
and a nice big coat. But
Yep.
today we are reading Mr. X issue 1, and this was 1983 from Vortex Comics. Or actually, maybe it's 84. I don't know. It's one of those years.
Yeah, in that era.
Vortex Comics. This is a company I don't think we've ever talked about here on the show.
Does not sound familiar, no.
All right, so we'll get into that here in a second. But before we do, let's remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I believe we're up to 382 subscribers.
Oh, okay. That's like one? Yeah, since last week?
Maybe two, maybe three.
Okay.
I don't know. The numbers seem to fluctuate. Like sometimes I look at it and it's 380, sometimes it's 379, and then it'll go back to 380. I don't know. I think YouTube's drunk.
Well, I think a lot of the times, like, YouTube will just subscribe you to things, even if you don't hit subscribe. If you've watched like 2 of their videos, they'll subscribe you. And then people look at their subscriptions like, oh God, what is this? Unsubscribe.
We need more of that. Yeah. Keep doing that. Because again, the goal is to get to 500, and if we do, Jank will make me read The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait. I want to get there before I die. It's my make-a-wish.
Good luck with that. I also have a book out there called Monkey Flip about a chimp detective. All right, so Mr. X, and this is Mr. spelled out, not like MR period A that you love. Steve
Well, sometimes it's spelled out, sometimes not. On the cover, it's not. It's spelled out. On the inside page, it is not.
Yeah, make it fun. All right, so Vortex Comics. This here was a independent comic book company started in 1982, and it was founded by a 20-year-old high school dropout named William P. Quotes Bill Marks. So I guess he goes by Bill Marks.
Oh, okay.
According to his Wikipedia page, they went a long way. They could have just said Bill Marks right away. They do all that.
What a world comics used to be. Like, if you were over the age of 22, like you were an old veteran that no one trusted anymore. Like, you had to be under like in your teens or early 20s to be in the business.
So he was from Canada and Toronto to be exact, and he was inspired by Cerebus and Dave Sim and ElfQuest. He saw the success they were having, and we've discussed both.
Saw those elf orgies, and he was like, "I need some of this."
An elf orgy convinced him to get into the comic book business. So, he started up his own company there, and one of the first main, I think they ran until 1994, they stayed alive, and then I think they may have come back briefly in the late 2000s as a little comeback, but for a while there, at the end, they were doing NASCAR comics.
Oh, Tuffy would be thrilled.
Our buddy Tuffy would love it. Yeah, I guess he liked auto racing or something, I don't know, but one of the main, like, big hits, or initial hits they had was Mr. X. So
that's right. Did they have any other hits besides Mr. X, or
that's a good question. Let's
carrying all the weight?
Well, they got into trouble in 1988, 89. They published Black Kiss, and we talked about this briefly when we were doing American Flag, because that was Howard Chaykin.
Okay.
And it was known for having like very because no comics code here, so blatant sex and violence and all kind of stuff in that comic. Ooh. And so some stores wouldn't even sell it, and then when they did, they had to sell it in like a plastic wrap, one of them deals, so you couldn't open it.
Yeah, like one of those magazines behind the counter at the gas station.
Yeah, so that caused them some controversy. So that was like one of the other titles they're known for. Some other ones were Calvin Mace. Don't know what that is.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
In 1991 through 94, they published something called Nocturnal Emissions.
So, oh my God, that sounds exciting.
Oh, Yummy Fur, I think, was kind of famous, right? Yummy Fur, did you ever hear of that?
Fur? Is that like some kind of furry fetish porn?
I don't know. I'm scared to look. Actually, I don't even want to click the link. Queen. Oh yeah, in 2021 they came back. They released two books, Chaos Breaker and Queen of Skulls. Um,
Hmm.
Man, Savage Henry in 1987. Any of these names
Oh.
mean anything to you? Captain Keen and Company, 1987.
Oh,
Dark
I remember
Chaos.
Commander Keen, the computer game.
No. Bloodlines. Oh, is that a Roman Reigns thing? But 1987, the old Bloodline. Yeah, I don't know. So really, it's Black Kiss and Mr. X. I think were probably their two famous books, but
All right, that's something. It's
and
more than I got. So
a lot of NASCAR stuff too. If you want
you want to read about the continuing adventures of Dick Trickle?
NASCAR Adventures from 1991 to 92, Legends of NASCAR from 90 to 92. How about
I
that? That's pretty good.
think it's like
Uh,
that Pro Stars cartoon show they had with like Wayne
yeah,
Gretzky and Michael Jordan, but for NASCAR racers.
and Bo Jackson, I think was the third one. All right, so yeah, that's Vortex Comics. So Mr. X, it was the brainchild of a fellow named Dean Motter, and he was an illustrator and he got famous for and writer and designer. He was famous for doing album covers in the early 80s.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I can see that influence here.
Um, he didn't do any of the art here though, in what we're reading, but he helped come up with the concept of it, I guess. And
Yeah.
then like he had the whole idea. So he's basically like the Stan Lee in this situation, you know? And then he brought in a fella. Oh shoot. See, this is the problem when you don't take notes and you just rely on reading.
Is it the people that actually did this book here?
No. Next, he collaborated with a fella named oh shoot. Any second now, I'm going to find it. I'll cut this out in post. Don't
Yeah.
worry, it'll be great. A guy named Rivoche, Rivoche, Paul Rivoche.
If anyone can get it done, it's Rivosh.
so so Motter and Rivoche combined, and Rivoche was the artist who like he did a lot of graphic media and stuff, and he designed a lot of the advertising posters and the concept art and everything for the book. And then they were supposed to produce the book, but they were having trouble hitting deadlines. And
Ooh.
and then like Rivoche dropped out of the project. And so Bill Marks, the guy from Vortex Comics, he said, "Hey, you know what? This idea is great, but we're going to get some other people to do it." So he brought in the Hernandez brothers,
Mm.
Jaime and Gilbert Hernandez, and they also have a brother named Mario. Now, have you ever heard of these fellas?
I have not. No,
Well, they did a book called Love and Rockets. Have you heard of that?
I have heard of that. Yep,
Yes, I
may
have
have
heard of
looked at
that as
that
well.
before. Yep.
Never read it.
Nope, me neither.
But back in the day, I remember seeing Love and Rockets advertised places and stuff, so we should probably check that out sometime.
Yeah, certainly inspired. I think an '80s band called Love and Rockets. So.
Well, that's a shame. But anyway, but so these two Hernandez brothers, they stepped in, and I think Jaime was doing the art for this, and I believe,
Is
and
this in fact like the first appearance of Mr. X, or was there another Mr. X series that these other guys weren't meeting deadlines for, or what?
no, this is the first. This is it. So they had the concept, but they couldn't produce the first book. They were running so far behind that they just said, "All right, we're bringing in two other people."
Huh.
So then the Hernandez brothers, they stuck around for the first four issues, and then they quit because Vortex Comics wasn't paying them. So
Yeah.
and and when asked about it at the time, that Bill Marks says, "Yeah, they're right. We just weren't paying them. We couldn't make it." He said, "So no hard feelings." But he said, "Don't you worry. They will get every nickel they owed." And he did end up paying them, like by
Oh, that's
1980.
nice.
Yeah, cut like a year or so later, they got their money. But so that was good.
Yeah, I guess those fledgling startups, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Like, they don't necessarily have the cash to do
because
anything.
I think I read that the initial issue of Mr. X, they had like 40,000 issues like requested for it or something for that first issue. But then they were so late in getting it out that the number dropped all the way to 26,000 before they ever got it out. And then the other issues they were having, even the Hernandez brothers were having trouble hitting deadlines, but they were at least doing good work. So Marx overlooked it and they kept it going.
I'll
So it
say
wasn't
this:
exactly,
they did fine work for about half of this book.
ouch. And they They're publishing bi-monthly, I believe, at the time as well. So they had 2 months, still couldn't get a book out. But anyway, and then
That's not
the initial run of
good.
Mr. X went, I think, 14 issues, and that Motter fella, the guy who created it, he came in with issue 5, I think, and took over the writing. And
Mm.
then they had a bunch of different artists, at least a guy named Seth, just Seth.
Just Seth.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
This this is a hard book to picture in any other art style. I don't know if I would want something that didn't look like this.
yeah. There are a couple other the other artists, like Seth has a very even more simplified. So I looked at one of his issues, and it's cool, but it's like even more simplified art than
Okay.
this. And the second guy after the Hernandez brothers, he kind of tried to mimic what they were doing. So it looks similar. It's not like completely drastic change or anything. But
That's good. Yeah. You didn't get like, Barry Windsor Smith in there to
yeah, because
draw
how would
something
you
completely
do?
different.
Because I would say if you're not familiar with Jaime's art here, it's clean and
Yep.
simple and not a lot of lines. But it's cool. It's more cartoony, I would say.
Yeah, it's very I guess much like the 90s Batman cartoon. I
Yes,
think it's inspired
and
by those Fleischer cartoons, like the Superman cartoons a lot.
well, that's what they this actually influenced that.
Yes,
Um,
I was
yeah,
could 100% see that. Especially with all the flying cars in here and Batman had all
yep,
those blimps, like it very much reminded me of that.
yeah. That's what they say. Like this was an influence on those DC cartoons, and also like Tim Burton's Batman, like his view of Gotham, and that movie Dark City I mentioned last week as well. So it's kind of influential this year, Mr. X. All right, I
Yeah.
think that's the. Then they published. There's a couple volumes of this. They came back the next year with a 13 issue run in series two, and it was black and white. And then there's a 4 issue series in 1996, and then another 4 issue series in 2008, and that was by Dark Horse Comics. The third one was by Caliber Comics. I never heard of
Oh,
them either.
I feel I feel like we've done a Caliber book. I can't remember
Really?
what,
I
but
haven't. Yeah, I can't
yeah.
remember. I don't know. But so there you go. That's the Mr. X. All right. So the main character in this story is a fellow named Walter Eichmann, and he's the bald guy that Jank was, going to cosplay as at his
Yeah.
next comic book convention. And yeah, he's just a bald dude with really dark glasses, like welder's glasses, kind of, I
Yeah,
think.
they're like very circular, kind of red.
And they have little side panels on them too, so they fit snug to his face, kind of like.
Because there's
And
something up with his eyes. You
yeah,
don't know exactly what.
well, the thing is with this Eichmann, he was one of two architects for a city called is it Radiant City? Is that what it's called? I think that sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right.
But apparently the buildings they were designed in such a way that they influence people's brains and it messes them up. And so like the city's kind of, even though it's called Radiant City, that they have, it's kind of like a corrupt cesspool and a lot of degenerates, a lot of
Yeah.
degens. And
Very Gotham City-esque. Yeah.
so he wants to come back to the city and fix it somehow. And
Hmm.
he's trying to figure out how to fix it. And there's a big criminal, like a kingpin kind of guy called Zamora, a gangster who kind of runs the show here. And he calls Eichmann Mr. X because he doesn't know who he is, and so that's how he gets that name.
Yep.
And but the Mr. X, he also never sleeps.
Yeah, he's on some kind of drug that takes away his sleep.
And I found out because I read ahead a little bit in issue two, and he's been awake now for 70 straight days.
Holy hell.
So he just keeps filling himself up. He like shoots it like heroin, and it keeps him awake. But apparently, it does something to his eyes
Apparently.
because there's a scene in this book where they take his glasses off and they look at his face and they go, "Oh my God!" Everyone like recoils in horror.
Yeah.
But we don't. The reader does not see what his eyes look like. But
Huh. Now, does he get any kind of powers from doing this, or
no,
what exactly is benefit of staying up for
Uh,
70 days?
he's just manic, and he says there's no time to waste. He has to stay up all the time.
Well, there's plenty of time to go to a party at your ex-wife's house for no reason.
Well,
So,
he needed pizza. He needed food.
yeah, exactly.
He asked the DJs, "Is there going to be food there?" And they're like, "Yeah, there's going to be food there." He's like, "All right." Yeah, this guy
Some
likes
hot dogs
pizza.
and chips.
He really likes pizza. Every the other issue, he's looking for pizza too. So yeah, so that's kind of the premise here. And that Zamora guy has a mistress named, I think, Patrice, and she kind of gets entangled with Eichmann slash Mr. X. And Mr. X, like you mentioned, has an ex-wife named Consuelo, I believe. Consuela, right?
Consuelo. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I was
sure makes her a
confused.
dude.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about. When I said it, I'm like, should it be an A? But
Yeah.
and then he also has a ex-girlfriend or a wannabe girlfriend named Mercedes.
Yeah. Seems like
So
she's kind of on the smack there.
and she works at a club that is run by Zamora. And I looked in issue 2 there, and the waitresses at this club dress up like cats. So I like cats.
Hey, there you
So that
go.
works out. Is there anything else we should mention here about the premise of this book? Oh,
No,
well,
it is a very like sci-fi looking city. The buildings are kind of very futuristic. There's all these flying cars everywhere.
a lot of rounded edges on the buildings.
Yeah.
I think.
Cool
Oh,
rounded robots just
yeah,
walking
there's
around.
robots. Yeah, I was going to mention, like, there's just robots walking around the city and or just positioned on street corners, and they're just there to help citizens. And
Yeah, they're very like 1950s looking robots.
yeah. So what else was I going to say here? I had something else. Oh, well, yeah, this issue we see Eichmann slash Mr. X trying to get back the blueprints for the city from Zamora, I
Hmm.
guess. But there's a little twist to that as well. So all right, let's get into it. That's Mr. X. You excited?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I was very excited when I saw this. It looks quite cool.
Yeah.
So this is the cover is pretty awesome in and of itself. Honestly, this doesn't look like a cover from 1983. This looks more like a modern day comic cover to me, in a lot of ways. But
Yeah, because the guy doing it was like all into the graphic design and whatnot, and like so yeah.
it looks really cool. We
Yep.
got the little Vortex logo there up in the top right. It's just a V with kind of those wings like Captain America's head,
Yeah,
essentially.
that's right.
uh, and then we got it's just Mr. X, spelled out like you mentioned. The Mr. is all in white, and there's a big black X, and it says
And
premiere issue, and then very small under the X it says number one.
yeah, and that's in black, and the premiere issue is in white. There's a black dot between the premiere and the issue, and then the Mister has a black drop shadow behind it. So again, very
Yeah.
graphic design, very
Hmm. Very clean, very
yeah.
slick. Yep, very modern. And then it's just kind of a red cover, and you got Mr. X standing there, kind of silhouetted, so you don't really see much of his face, just his Coke bottle glasses, and he's wearing a big old coat, carrying a briefcase, and he's got some brown shoes on, and then we just got some white lines, kind of shadowy, like showing the light coming from behind him, and then you see like the shadows of his legs, uh,
But
set against the white.
yeah, the shadows of his legs are also in red. So
Yeah,
so it's just
must
red,
have the
white,
rest
and
of the
black.
cover.
Yeah,
Yep,
those are the colors we're dealing with here.
very
Very
cool, very cool.
very white stripesy. Jack White was a Mr. X fan.
That could be.
Yeah, it's a great color, very striking cover, and
Hmm.
$1.75 in the U.S., $2.25 in Canada.
Well, worth it, at least for the art.
Yeah, yeah. So we open it up, and we get a little explanation of the book here, and
Yeah, this page honestly does a great job of setting up the mystery, and it was like, oh, I had no idea what we were walking into, and it hooks you pretty quickly. Where it's just like it wasn't easy for the man to return to the city. He had left years ago, disappointed, so disappointed with what eventually became Radiant City, the city of his dreams, the city he himself designed, was now the city of his nightmares. Yes, the man has returned to undo the damage he believes he has done, even if it kills him. Bang, like that just sums it up, and already I'm kind of hooked. I'm interested. I want to know more.
yeah, and it's a big splash page, and in the foreground here we have Mr. X popping out from a manhole cover from the street. and
Yeah.
you can see the skyline of the city in his glasses, and there's smoke coming out from behind him. And then in the background, there's the futuristic
That's not
city.
smoke. If he's in the sewer, that's poo gas
Oh,
just coming out.
methane. But there's the futuristic city behind him as well, and the night sky. So yeah, it's a very good splash page. And then, hey, but they do a cool thing in issue 2 as well to open up the book. They have all the characters that we are introduced to in issue 1. They just speak directly to the camera, and they each have to take their turn. Like the first is Mr. X, then it's that Zamora guy, and then his mistress and Mercedes, the girlfriend, and they just like
Okay.
speak directly to the reader, like updating on who they are and what they did last issue, and like to
Oh,
set the stage for this issue. It's pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
kind of like the one. All those
Uh,
testimonials.
yeah, but this is just done specifically to recap what happened last issue. You know what I mean? I think in a way, Chaykin did that a little bit with American Flag, kind of. Remember, he had those like TV screens, and but well, that may not
okay.
have been in the issue you read actually, because I read so
I'd
many.
like a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I read a lot of Howard Chaykin.
I don't remember a lot of that in this one.
Yeah. So anyway, but to this issue, now we get another the second or the actual next page there. We get a view of the city and like it's an establishing shot of the skyline, and we see various flying vehicles up in the air there,
Hmm.
and there are like spotlights on the top of the buildings, and again we see the unique architecture, a lot of the rounded edges and whatnot. And in one of the buildings, on like a patio, we see a conversation going on, and it's that Zamora fellow, the criminal guy, and his mistress, and we see her. She's in a red dress. She looks great here. All the
Yeah.
women are drawn great. Just
Yeah,
they all look awesome.
that is true. And
So
yeah, this lady, I think she may have been talking to George Hamilton, that evil therapist from Columbo, because
oh,
she's getting up on the railing here. It looks like she's about to jump off.
I love a good Columbo reference. Thank you. Yeah, she gets a little dangerous, but she's like much younger than this guy. He's
Hmm.
an older fella. And now he's probably still way younger than me in terms of,
Sadly, yeah, that's probably true.
but he looks to be, uh, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s, and she's her 20s, and she's a
Yeah.
brunette, and or well, black hair, and so yeah, she's dancing up on the edge even of the balcony there, and she just wants
She wa-
to have fun.
yeah, she wants to go flying. He's like, "Oh, come on, let's just stay." And I got the latest celebrity autopsies on tape.
Yes,
She's like,
again, that's pretty great. 1983 doing a celebrity autopsy joke like that.
yeah, that's
They
pretty
saw the
good one.
future, yeah. And so because there is a show, Celebrity Autopsy, no?
Uh, I don't
Like
know. Maybe it
I
sounds like
think that
something in
I'm
Discovery or something like that,
yeah, I
or
think there is.
E.
Like they look back at how celebrities died and they go back over their life and how they died and stuff. I think like years ago they did this, but still.
I mean, in a
So
world where faces of death exists,
yeah,
anything is possible.
so yeah, she wants to go flying. So he's got a flying car, and he's like, "All right, I'll get the car ready. I'll take you flying, baby." And he kind of looks like
Yeah,
Walt Disney.
very much so. Yeah, yeah. He totally looks like Walt Disney.
The coloring in this book is also kind of cool because it's very simple, but they do some cool things to set the tones and stuff we'll talk about as we go through.
Hmm.
But
Very solid colors. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
so he calls his two henchmen there, and what I like is they're watching wrestling.
Of course, you're way into that. You
And
see a guy
apparently,
in tiny underpants, you're like, oh, these are my people.
but when I was reading about the that Jaime Hernandez fella, it says that he's a big wrestling fan. So
Oh, okay,
uh,
that makes sense.
I know me and him got to do more of this guy's work. So his two henchmen there, they're going to get ready to get the car prepped for him. But then the one guy just makes a back offhand comment saying how a woman's going to be the death of their boss.
Hmm.
Because of some bimbo. He's always chasing the young women. And the other guy gets really mad and he pulls a gun on him and he's like, "Hey, take that back." He really loves that boss.
He does.
Yeah.
His gun looks a little funky there. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
got these new futuristic kind of guns.
Yeah,
Um,
guess it's a ray gun, or this guy just really can't draw guns. One of the two.
No, yeah, it's a different kind of gun. Uh,
Okay.
well, just futuristic because the same kind of gun is seen in the next issue as well. Um, but I like this the panel where he gets really mad. Notice it's all in reds and oranges and stuff, and a shift from blue. And so yeah, it's really cool with the coloring there. Also, this guy who really loves his boss. Spoiler alert: his boss kills him in issue 2.
Oh, that
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah, and he kills him as like an afterthought, not even thinking about him. Just guns him down. So
Like the Joker killed Bob in the Batman movie.
it's pretty great. So, all right, Jake, take it away from here. They go for a
uh,
flight.
yeah, they go flying around. She's like, "Yeah, I think we left my stomach on the roof." And someone's pointing at him like, "Oh, look at that guy. He's flying around like he owns the sky." And they're like, "Yeah, that's Zamora. He pretty much does." And she's like, "Oh, I mean, he owns a couple of clubs, but." And then the dude's just like, "No, no. He's as crooked as they come. He's into drugs, extortion. He's into everything." So Zamora takes
And, oh, wait,
his
and then
young
the
lady.
lady says, not to mention, he beat you at craps all the time when you were kids. And he says, and that's another thing. And he's all mad. So these people, we don't know who they are. But when I was flipping through other issues, they keep popping up. Like whenever they're walking on the street, you always see these two walking by saying something.
Oh, okay, they're the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of this
Yeah.
thing.
But I don't know who they are, though. But anyway. All right, continue.
Yeah, so he takes his little coupe back home, and they're flying by his place again, and his young lady friend happens to spot someone in his apartment, even though they're gone. And it's a guy going into the safe, a spooky looking bald guy. And she's like, "Hey, Arnold, look, there's a weird guy in your apartment, but he's already gone. He hasn't seen nothing." He's like,
Yeah.
"This dame, like, what does she know?" But he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna have the guys check it out anyway."
And she's freaked out by his face. The
She's
guy she saw.
terrified.
Yeah. Because again, he's a very striking face with the big glasses. And, yeah.
Super terrified, but then remarkably unterrified later in this issue for no reason.
Yeah, she's intrigued by him for some reason. Then later, I think after they catch him, she sees him and is smitten with him a little bit. But
I mean, who isn't in this book, apparently?
yeah,
Everyone loves creepy old guys.
they all call him by a different name as well. Well, his age is debatable. I don't know how old Mr. X
That
is.
is true. He's
Yeah,
hanging out with a bunch of teenagers later. I don't know what the hell's
I
happening
would
there.
say he's probably late 30s.
Okay.
But yeah, so but the Walt Disney guy, they check the apartment, no one's there, and he comes back in, and Patrice is all calmed down now, and she's ready to watch some celebrity autopsies. She's ready to go.
Yeah. She's in the mood now.
But he goes in to check his safe just to be sure, and it looks like everything. He's got these tapes in his safe, and
Hmm.
they're still there. So he's like, yeah, I don't know. She must have been crazy thinking about that. So.
She's like, "Oh man, you missed it. Love, I never knew a person's entrails could be so long."
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Just to be clear, in the actual real world celebrity autopsies, they didn't show the autopsy or anything, but they just broke down the celebrity's death. But yeah.
Here's what their buttholes looked like.
So they now we cut over and we just see some ladies bare legs and she's singing, and then we see it's it's this girl with like a little short haircut, and she's just in her underpants and a little tank top, and she's got a belly ache because she ate too much pizza.
Yep.
And this is Mercedes, who we learn is Mr. X's ex-girlfriend or wannabe girlfriend. And she goes in the bathroom to get some like Tums or something.
Apparently, she likes junior mints on her pizza. By the
Yeah,
way, we should mention
that's
that.
right. Yeah,
Odd
yeah.
choice.
So that's probably why she has the stomach ache. And she goes in to get some Tums or whatever. And there's a shadow in the shower. And boom, he opens the curtain. It's Mr. X. He snuck in the bathroom. And she starts freaking out because at this point we don't know what's going on. And she's like, "You always do that. I swear, Santos, you're going to give me a heart attack someday. Geez, I need a cigarette." And he says, "Light me one too." What I like what they do with Mr. X's dialogue too. Like they always make the letters smaller, and so there's a lot of white space around it within the balloon
Okay.
to
Yep. I see that.
to kind of make it seem like he's I like there's a quick urgency, but a muted tone to his voice. You know what I mean? Kind of
Yeah,
like
like he's kind of quiet and
yeah.
ghoulish. Yeah.
And so they go in and he starts shooting up with his concoction to make him, stay awake.
Yep.
And she's just talking about, she calls him Santos, by the way. Every woman in this book has a different name for him. He's a tomcat. He gets around,
Yeah,
you know?
apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
I feel about that when you're just this guy who's apparently been out of town and just came back into town all of a sudden to get revenge and you're going to parties and banging random broads. Like, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't have to stay up for 70 days straight if you just focused on the mission instead of all this other bullshit.
I don't know if, chasing the ladies is bullshit, quote unquote, but whatever. So he shoots up, and Mercedes is all like freaked out because she's like, it's so unnatural that you never sleep, Santos, and she's scared for him, and all he says is, "Do you have any more pizza?" And he's looking in the refrigerator, and she's like, you've been snooping around that Zamora's place again, haven't you? Santos, the guy's dangerous. He didn't get to where he is on his good looks. And he says, well, you work as a waitress for him. And she's like, yeah, I know, whatever. But I overhear things and he's dangerous and if he catches you. And she's like, damn you, Santos. She just says, damn you. But she's all worried because, she loves him and she's afraid he's going to die and he doesn't really care about her feelings. So, because she like collapses into his chest, hugging him, and he's standing rod straight, like not even looking at her. And she's like, "Go on, get out of here. I guess I'll see you on a slab in the morgue soon, huh?" And then we just this is a good panel, her and just all silhouette smoking a cigarette, and she's like, "Damn him," with her hand on her head. Oh, that's Santos slash Mr. X slash Walter Eichmann slash Michael. Got a lot of names.
Yep.
All right, so now, Jank, where do we do this next scene for us?
So now he's just walking down the street with his briefcase, and the goons are like, "Hey, wait, over there, is it? Yeah, that's him. I recognize that chrome dome anywhere." But they haven't seen him, so I'm not sure what they're recognizing, other than the
Uh,
girl said she saw a guy who was bald.
yeah, but they
So,
said earlier that there was a scene earlier where Zamora's talking to his guys, and his guys said they had seen this bald guy walking around the place
oh,
before. Yeah, like they thought he was creepy, but they didn't know who he was. So yeah.
yeah. So they're gonna go grab him. There's a cool shot here where he's kind of going down a street, and there's a big shadow of him on the wall that looks kind of creepy and like vampire esque, like Nosferatu-y.
Yeah, this guy
Um,
does. He's basically Nosferatu with glasses.
yeah, very much
Kind of.
so.
So yeah.
So they're like, all right, let's go grab him, but the boss wants him alive, so we can't shoot him. So he just starts running, and he kind of ducks down an alley, jumps over a little fence, but then Mr. X bashes his head into a little robot guy who's just walking around. He's like, "I'm at your service, citizen." And Mr. X is like, "Hey, I got this suitcase. You throw it into that second story window, second floor from the top now." And so the robot does, throws it right through the window.
Yeah, these robots are good, man. Yeah.
Yep, good aim. And they're like, the guys have caught up to Mr. X now, and they're like, "All right, we're taking you in to see the boss."
Yep, they capture him and they bring him in, and Zamora's yelling at him there. And he's like, "Hey, what are
Yeah.
you doing bringing him in here? Because if Patrice sees him, she's gonna freak out because she doesn't like what." And here Patrice comes walking in a night like evening gown, and she wants her opinion or his opinion on the dress. And then she sees Mr. X, and she says, "Oh." And again, we get orange in the background of that panel, and then yellow in the others, so it's pretty cool to set it off. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry, baby, we caught him. It's no big deal. He's a cat burglar. Um, we're gonna talk to him." Yeah, look at this next panel. She's just like staring behind him. She's smitten with this Mr. X. Maybe
Hmm.
he's got like the Kavorka, like Seinfeld on, or Kramer on Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Apparently.
Uh, so then we see Zamora. He goes in to interview him. They have Mr. X in a chair, and they're browbeating him a little bit, but he refuses to talk. So he's like, "Hey, take off those stupid glasses." So they take his glasses off, and they look in his face, and they go, "Oh my, put them back on." Okay, put them back on. You don't want to look in your face.
He's cross-eyed, apparently.
Yeah, what do you think his eyes look like? I'm guessing they're just all very red. and like
Yeah,
almost like blistered probably, or I don't know, like just so dried out, But
I would think. Yeah,
yeah.
that's my guess. Or
But
maybe they're
here's an
just red.
but here's another little good writing bit from issue two. Is at the end of it, Mercedes, she takes his glasses off and looks into his eyes, and she smiles.
Oh,
Yeah, she loves him
that's
more, I
good
think.
mystery. I am curious about
Yeah.
what's going on with his eyes.
But it's good characterization too
Yep.
for Mercedes. All right, so they're
Now, what's
talking.
less good is they decide this Zamora guy who basically owns the town. He's the biggest mobster in the world. Just like lets this guy go. He's like, whatever. I could
Well,
easily kill you probably and cover it up, and nobody would ever care. But I'll just let you go. You broke into
well,
my place, may have stolen things, but just
well.
let him
There's
out.
a reason though. There's a reason because he wants to trail him because he wants to know what he's up to. Because they he knows Mr. X. He didn't steal the tapes. He switched them. And if Mr. X isn't going to talk, he can't just kill. He wants to find out why. So if he kills him,
I mean, if you just kill him,
but he'll
it
never
doesn't
know
matter
why.
why.
But he'll never know why. There's a reason though he needs to find out why because so the tapes in his safe are the blueprints for the city. And again, I know more of this because I read issue two, like some of but so but the well, I think in issue one here they say in this next page, yeah. So they let Mr. X go, and yeah, this next conversation, he says the tapes had microfilm of the blueprints for the city, but these tapes aren't mine. For some reason, he swapped them out, even though they're still the blueprints. And he says they had because mine had my initials on them or something, but that's a lie. His had something else on them. So, but I don't know what that is either from reading ahead. That's still vague. But
Yeah, they're still keeping that open.
so that's why they let him go. They need to trail him because they want to figure out what this guy's deal is. Um, so that's why they don't just kill him right. But
Hmm.
anyway, but oh yeah, so you see that another one of them futuristic guns then when he's getting ready because if we keep flowing up.
Yeah.
Because where does he say? Because the one little henchman says, "Yeah, and when we get to the bottom of this, heads will roll." And he says, "Easy, easy. No sense giving the cops reasons to get involved in this." Oh yeah, that's the other thing. He is a gangster and everything, but allegedly he's been clean for like 13 years. Like he's been, like he got his empire by being a crook, and he still runs
Mhm.
clubs and everything, but he hasn't gone foul of the law in like 10 or 13 years. So he's trying.
Okay. I mean, I would say I wouldn't, do it myself, but yeah, I would have
Yeah.
my goons do it.
Well, that's still you doing it. The law doesn't,
That's why.
but
Yeah, but you don't.
so,
You
but
got that barrier between
he's
you, so that they don't
trying,
know.
he's trying to still be also being clean here. So yeah. All right. So, but then in the next panel, we see him by himself in his office, and again, all in shadows to show that things are turning darker for him. He says, "So somebody doesn't want old Zamora to know what's on those blueprints, eh? Okay. I guess it's back to the old way of doing things. And I thought life at the top was gonna be dull." And he pulls out his gun. All right, Jake. So now we cut over and we see Mr. X.
Yeah, so far so good in this book. It's pretty good. There's some good mysteries. I like where it's heading. And right about here is where the book took a real sharp dive for me.
I don't know. All right. Well, then you talk us through it because I don't know why. But all right, go ahead.
So now Mr. X is just walking down the street, and here's a bunch of hot rodding teens who are like, "Hey, you come to this party with us?" They don't mention who these people are. I assume he knows them, but I honestly couldn't tell. Or if they're
Um,
just looking for people to come to this party.
yeah, they're just
Um,
degens. They're just degens. Yeah.
yeah, why would they just pick up a random bald guy who
Because they're
age undetermined and be like, "Hey, you want to come to this party?" And
because
why
they're
would he
degens.
go? Like, shouldn't he be on a
Well,
mission of vengeance?
no, because he knows that they say it's going to be one of Consuelo's wingdings. Come on, and he was married to Consuelo, as we find out later. But he says, "Where will there be any food? He needs food. He needs to eat."
There's a pizza place on every corner.
So yeah, he gets in the car and
Yeah.
but yeah, these kids they're driving around like and they're saying, "Oh, that party's going to be dull. Let's go set police cars on fire instead." And they say, "Oh, Belinda, you can't do you little pyro. We can't do that." Yeah, we did that last night. So yeah, these aren't exactly normal people, you know. These are
Yeah.
weirdos. But anyway,
Nobody's normal the rest of this book.
well, that's kind of the point. Like, because the city's making them all weird, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
architecture and everything. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
all right, go ahead.
But then they get to the party and he sees Consuelo, who I guess is his ex-wife. She calls him Walter. He's Walter,
Yeah,
I'm so glad you could make it.
that's his real name, Walter Eichmann.
Okay. And yeah, she mentions that they were used to be married, but he just wants pizza. And then he's like sitting there eating licorice or something. I don't know.
Yeah, she's like, oh, but you are so pale, Walter. You don't get out enough, you know? It's like someone's talking to me. But then you never did, and you and your work, tisk. A lot of people say tisk in this book, and
Yeah.
uh, and Walter just says, "My work is important to me, Consuelo. Where's the pizza?" and again, and
And
again,
again, where has he been? I thought he had been away from the city for like years at this point. How is his wife just like, oh, hey, it's you? Like, not even like, oh, I'm surprised you're here. Like, no, surprise at any of him being here at all. Like, what have you been up to these past couple of years? Fill in the blanks a little bit. Like, she's just like, oh, yeah, he's here every Tuesday. But
well,
I thought he was,
it seems like they're just a party town, you know? Like she just throws parties, whoever shows up.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. The internal logic just stopped making sense here for me.
But again, I think that's intentional because it shows how lightweight they value relationships, you know, like they're all just passing and not a big deal. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, she introduces him to another very bosomy lady, and then but all he wants is food, and but then Patrice, the Zamora's mistress, is there, and she latches onto him, and she says, "Oh, don't worry, I gave Arnold's goons a slip myself. He's so protective of me. He's taken to having me followed too. He's so silly." And he says, "My presence no longer unnerves you, I see." And she says, "Well, you must admit you are quite a sight, but I don't mind. I would like to know why you were in Arnold's room that night, though." And notice, like in the backgrounds of this party scene, and even in the foreground there's a of that fake panel. There's a guy who clearly, I don't know, it looks like Dick Van Dyke with a big mustache.
Yes.
But it seems like there's a lot of in the background. There's got to be these are famous people he's drawing clearly, right?
I'm
Like,
sure, yeah.
yeah, I just can't place them, but because they're
Yeah,
very
the very
distinctive
pale guy in
faces.
the next one is very distinctive. I'm sure
Yeah,
that's some kind of an 80s singer of some kind.
I was gonna say I looks like an '80s like British band guy or something. I don't
uh,
know. So anyway, but she wants to get to know this guy, Mr. Exmore. Although he doesn't look as pale in these couple panels, they colored him like normal,
hmm
and he's like, it must have been someone else you saw. And she's like, all right, give me a break. I know you're out to ruin Arden. I want to know why. He supports me, you know? And he's like, if I wish to keep my eyeballs in my head, I won't be chatting with you any longer, lady. Good evening. Yeah, because when they had him in his chair, Zamora, before he let him go, he said, if I ever see you around here looking at Patrice again, I'm going to pop your eyeballs out with my own thumbs. So, yeah. And when Mr. X is going through the party, a lot of times we'll see a thought bubble of him just thinking of his briefcase. He still needs to get that briefcase back because the briefcase
Yeah.
has the drugs that keep him, awake and everything.
Yeah, I guess that's the briefcase, but it also kind of looks like a sandwich.
Well,
Hungry.
I don't know about that. They got a handle. I don't know many sandwiches that have
Yeah,
handles on them. But that
the good ones
Patrice,
do.
she just grabs him and starts and yanking him back into the bathroom so they can talk. And there's a couple making out in there, and she tells him, "Hey, get out of here. This guy's gonna throw up. You don't want to be out here." And so they get in the bathroom by themselves. She puts him in the shower, and it's almost like Amanda and the Alien in LCS. Maybe we saw. And
Except
she
she's
turns,
wearing her dress the entire time.
yeah, she just turns the water on, I guess, so no one can hear them talking. And they're both just standing in the shower chatting, and she's kind
Right.
of,
Normally, you would not get in the shower while doing that. You
yeah.
would turn the shower on and then talk outside of the shower.
Well, I think Patrice is kind of seducing him here as well. You know, she like the longer
Well,
this
then you would
goes.
probably take your dress off if you're
Well, I
going to
think
seduce him.
Well, I think they were one panel away from that happening, because her hair is getting all wet and misty and whatnot, and then she's about to, and then boom, some people come crashing through the door. There's a fight at the party, and she goes out around the curtain and yells at him, And then when she turns around, Mr. X went out the window. So he's going.
Uh-oh.
This Mr. X, that's his gimmick to go in and out of bathroom windows. Like, because that's what he did at Mercedes' apartment, and then he's doing this here.
Apparently, all these people have windows in their shower, which is a bad
Yeah.
idea.
You don't have a window in your shower?
No.
Huh.
You want your neighbors to watch you
I
as you
do.
rub your nethers?
I charge 2 bits.
2 bits
So,
a
all right.
gander.
2 bits a gander. All right, Jank. So, how does this end here?
So he goes back to find that window where the robot threw the briefcase through, and he climbs up the building there, and he's like, "I'm gonna go in and get it." But turns out there's those two hoods from earlier. They're like, "Hey, we got your briefcase," and Mr. Zamora requests your presence once again, and I think he'll also want to see this. And Mr. X jumps at him, tries to grab the briefcase. And they're like, "Ow, ow, he's gone nuts! Ouch! Knock it off, Baldy, or oop, I'm warning you." And one of them punches Mr. X right off the side of the building.
Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to, Renee, but he was biting." And you're like, "It's too dark to see, man. The chief's going to give it to us. To be continued." Yeah, yeah. The briefcase not only does it have drugs, I'm guessing it also has the tapes that he took from the set
Yeah,
as well. So,
yeah,
all right, I really really like this. I thought it was because again, you got to put it in the context of when it came out, and
yeah.
1983 or June of '84, I guess, or no, I'm looking at the signature. That is not that's Jaime, not June. So the artist was signing it 1984. So yeah, just the art. I love the art. It's like just the clean
Art's
style of it.
incredible.
Yeah, and again, every woman in here looks great, especially Patrice. Um, yeah, I'm actually a big fan of this. So
I was, like I said, about 2/3 of the way. I was a big fan. I really liked. I agree with you about the art. The art is spectacular. I mean, it's not like amazing art, but for this type of thing, it's so stylized that I love it, and it
yeah,
really works for this type of story, and I love it. So that's a big plus for me. The setup here, like okay, this guy helped set up this city, and now he's coming back for revenge. That's great. I love that. I like the look of the character. I was intrigued about the mysteries, like what's going on with his eyes and all this stuff. I'm like, all that was great. It's just once they started getting into the party stuff, I'm just like, is this a parody? Am I supposed to be reading this as a some kind of parody of Dark Avenging Heroes? Like, why did this take such a weird turn into like a cracked magazine all of a sudden?
yeah, I didn't mind it because I think it's setting up just how weird, like goofy, not goofy, but just degenerate and perverted the city is, like the party and everything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't mind it. I really enjoyed it. It's just nice to see such a innovative idea and such a concept.
Hmm.
And so again, when you put it in the context, it's pretty impressive that they were doing
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I would definitely be curious to check out more of this and see where this series goes for sure. As long
Yeah.
as he could stay away from Consuelo's place, I guess. maybe maybe things
uh,
are stay right on track.
we should also mention, wasn't there a little something extra too at the end of this? Or
Oh, that's right. It's just kind of a mostly wordless couple of panels of just shots from around the city, I guess.
yeah, it's referred to as Somnopolis because I guess even though it's called Radiant City, but Somnopolis, I guess because he's not sleeping. And
Yeah.
there's a dog with like a ribbit dog.
Yeah,
And
it's little robot arms, and then he's got wheels in the back.
yeah.
Like a robot walking some kids around,
And
some
there's one
lady just
panel
crying.
of a lady like in a little cocktail dress with a gun, and there's a dead guy,
Yep.
shot him in the chest, and she's kind of still smiling. So that's weird. Um,
It's just a robot standing in the rain with a sign that says out of order.
and then the final panel, there's a guy picking up a guy above his head, press slamming him, and he's about to throw him off a building. It's like the ultimate warrior.
That's
Taking on
probably
somebody.
happening in my town right now.
So there you go. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of this. Again, there've only been we've been doing well, I've been doing this show for what, 6 years now. Good Lord, what has become of me? What happened to my life? But when I think of the only books I ever continued reading were Ms. Tree, American
hmm
Flag. I'll probably read some more Mr. X. So
Yeah, I could see that. If I could find the time, I think I would like to read more of this too. Like I said, I was a huge fan of most of it. It was just the end that dropped it down a little bit. So overall, I'm gonna end up probably giving it a 7, just because that last bit dropped it a couple notches for me.
I'm debating 8 or 9, and I'm going to go 9 just to balance out your 7. So
That's
I'll go
fair.
8.
All right,
So
yeah,
there you
average
go.
out to an 8. I think that's very reasonable for this. It's like I said, mostly quite good until it got really weird, and I was not appreciating where they went with it. But if they
All
keep it
right,
more to
so
that kind of crime story, I think I would be way into this.
yeah, I hear you. But I think we've been having some good luck going off the board here with these odd comics, Champions, and
Ah,
then Mr. X.
yeah, I was
So
gonna do one of those, but I'm trying to pace ourselves and maybe
okay.
mix it up a little bit.
So
That
all right, what do you
was
got
gonna be
for
my
us
pick.
next week then, Jake?
So I think next week, on our other show, the LCS Hockey Show, we're getting ready for the Quesadilla Awards, of course.
And
Uh,
that's
and
where we honor the best of the worst. We watch terrible movies every week,
hmm,
and so at the end of the year, we hand out our awards for the very best of the terrible movies that we watched.
it's I'm very much in the awards show frame of mind, and we of course do awards on this show. And one of the categories that we have not, gotten any nominees for yet this year is Best Monkey.
Oh, I always love when you pick a monkey book.
Yep. I found us a book that'll give us all the monkey candidates we're going to need, I think, in one single book.
Okay,
So, our buddy Rick Veach has brought us a book
again,
called, yep.
our lowest rated show ever. We're going back.
Ba-ba-bow. Well, we'll see if this one has any better luck because we're going back to a straight normal DC book here.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to be doing Swamp Thing Annual
Oof.
number 3.
This is well, at least it's Rich Veach and not Alan Moore, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's
I
better.
figured that was a plus.
Swamp Thing Annual 3. Do you have a year on this?
This is 1987.
87. So you're telling me there are monkeys in this story?
Yep, I guess there's like a monkey who's kind of controlling all these other monkey characters.
Oh man.
Yep. So very monkey heavy. I think that Congarilla is back.
Oh,
Sam
Conqueror.
Simeon is in this.
Oh,
There's some like French monkey who wears a beret.
what about Bobo the chimp? Is he there?
He might be.
All right.
I guess we'll find out.
Well, I'm happy then if it's a monkey
Yeah,
book. So,
tons of monkeys.
all right. So next week, Swamp Thing Annual number 3. So that'll be something. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And until next week, don't get any jank on you.